Alright, I'm going to put this into a TARcast because it doesn't really need any visuals behind it, and yeah, if I did have gameplay in this, it would take about 200 billion years to render and about twice that time to upload, so, I'm just going to have this as a TARcast episode really close after the original, but it does work because I am just sort of sitting here as a more podcasty sort of thing, so enjoy. Alright, it's time to talk about E the Third, I guess, because now that all the important shit's over, that's when I sort of want to review everything. I didn't want to do everything in a separate video because that would have just been sort of, I'd rather just talk about it all in bulk as opposed to just in, like, multiple different videos because that's just how I do things. I don't want to spam out, like, E3 videos. I just want to have it in a nice condensed block, so it may be a long video, but, yeah, whatever. So what did I think of E3 this year? Well, I automatically knew going into it that it wasn't going to beat last year's Sony conference because they gave us Shenmue 3, and that was really fucking massive. And I legitimately did not think that anyone was going to top that this year, and obviously I was correct. But the biggest thing that came out of E3 for me this year was obviously things from the Nintendo conference because I'm a Nintendo fan, like uber Nintendo fan. So yeah, Nintendo had all the most sort of interesting stuff for me, based on my interest. But let's put that off for a little bit later. Let's first start with the big conferences. Sony's conference with PlayStation and everything. It seemed like most of that they tried to make it look like, oh hey, look, we have PSVR, ha 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 ha, it's gonna be cheaper than all the other ones, blah blah blah. This is on VR, this is on VR, this is on VR, which I didn't care about because if you've watched any of my previous videos, you probably know my stance on VR. I don't really care all that much. But yeah, and yes, I have seen what VR can do. Like, there's an instance of Portal that's going to be on fucking VR, and that looks absolutely insane, but it's still not practical. Like, I still don't have really any interest in actually doing that. But, yeah, but it seemed like the PlayStation conference was really just like game after fucking game after fucking game. They did not slow the fuck down. They just kept going and going. Here's a fucking game, 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 and they all looked fucking great. Like, pretty much every single fucking one of them, except for like a few that had me like, oh, okay. All of them looked fucking off the charts great. Like seriously, they look fucking fantastic. Like, Sony's probably going to have all of my game budget for a very long time. So, and then Hideo Kojima came out with Death Stranding, and everyone was like, haha, fuck you, Konami, because that's pretty much what Death Stranding is. It's a big middle finger to Konami. He's like, yeah, ha ha ha, look what I'm fucking doing, you cunt. So, yeah, it seems like, I believe Kojima reused assets from a previous game that he was going to release under Konami. I don't follow Konami very well because they're cunts, so if I'm wrong, then, correct me or whatever. But yeah, I believe Kojima actually used, I know for a fact he's still working with a lot of the same people that he was with Konami, working on Death Stranding now. But yeah, it's... I just want to see this game go off the fucking charts when it sells and just fucking bend Konami over a table because they deserve it. They fucking deserve it. They literally took one of the greatest minds in the gaming industry and they just said, oh, no, fuck you, big boy. And, they fucking pushed him off, go fuck yourself. We're going to make your game into a fucking pachinko machine. Yeah, go fuck off. That's what I would have done too. I would have gone and made my own fucking production company and told them to fuck off. So we'll see what comes of this, and it's certainly not going to be very bad, knowing Kojima. So, yeah, Kojima came out. That was a big middle finger to Konami. There were a lot of really good fucking games. There was, I believe, what was that? I can't remember if Prey was shown off at Xbox's conference or PlayStation's conference, but that looked really fucking cool. Man, let me actually pull up some of the game lists here. Because, this obviously isn't fucking scripted. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to list off all the games on the PlayStation list. This is on PlayStation's official website. This was what was at E3 this year. You've got Disc Jam. You've got Prey, which was there. You've got Here They Lie. You've got God of War. You've got Spider-Man PS4 game, which looked okay. Days Gone, which I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Detroit Become Human, I'm also going to talk about that a little bit later. Horizon Zero Dawn, Bound, which I didn't see much of. Gravity Rush 2, which I also did not see much of. Gran Turismo Sport, which I also did not see that much of. Riggs Mechanized Combat League. The Last Guardian, which looked sick. And then there's just some other stuff. Batman Arkham VR, Resident Evil 7, which I'm going to talk about a little bit too, because that just looked a little bit interesting. It didn't really feel very much like a Resident Evil game, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. Farpoint, which looked interesting. 100-Foot Robot Golf, which I didn't see much of. Base Drop, which I saw a little bit of. Blade Ballot, or Blade Ballet, I don't know. Shambara, I don't know what that is. Cryptarch, I think a lot of these are also just sort of things that I was sort of zoned out for, so I don't remember them. But Dear Esther, Drawful 2, Eve Valkyrie, Everything, Fault Milestone 1, Hob, Hugh or Hui, I don't know how you want to pronounce that. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, Manuel Samuel, that's an interesting name. Masquerade Songs and Shadows, Pax Nora, and yeah, it goes on for like days, and none of these at this point are games that I'm really interested in, so but most of the games that they actually showcased were ones that like yeah, I want to fucking get that. So let's start off with Prey. I'm going to read the description here. In Prey, you awaken aboard Talos 1, a space station orbiting the moon in the year 2032. You are the key subject of an experiment meant to alter humanity forever, but things have gone terribly wrong. The space station has been overrun by hostile aliens, and you are now being hunted. As you dig into the dark secrets of Talos 1 in your own past, sorry, I can't fucking speak today, you must survive using the tools found on the station, your wits, weapons, and mind-bending abilities. Now, the first thing that came to my mind when I saw Prey was Alien Isolation. That was what was running through my mind. Obviously, they're adding their own twist to it, but for the whole time, I was like, it's Alien Isolation reskinned. But, obviously, Sega isn't the one distributing it this time, obviously, and it's not by the same developers. It's by Bethesda, I do believe, so... but it did look really interesting. It looked different because you actually happen to have, some sort of psychic powers and stuff like that. You can, fucking do all kinds of cool shit. And it looked really interesting. Trailer looked really interesting. I kind of want to check that out. So now going down to, let's see. God of War was actually the first thing I believe that was there, and I missed that by just a little bit. I need to go back and watch that one of these days, and I might talk about that in a little bit. The next thing on the list was Spider-Man. At first, I'm like, oh shit, that's New York, but I didn't know what it was. But then I saw Spider-Man, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So I'm like, I saw that, I'm like, okay, it's going to be a superhero game. I don't really have that many interests. I don't have that much interest, in these sorts of games, but it did look pretty fucking sick. So, yeah, and it's coming exclusively to PS4, so yeah, maybe you'll get to play that in fucking VR. You probably will. I believe I saw some VR stuff in there. But Days Gone, this looked fucking great. It looked like it's sort of like a really story compelled sort of zombie shooter sort of thing going on. I'm going to read the description here, and it looks like there's a little bit of a developer note in it as well. It's been it's been a little over 4 years since we released Uncharted Golden Abyss for PS Vita, and you may be wondering what Ben Studio's been up to. Well, it's finally time to share what we've been working on. Today, during the PlayStation E3 2016 press conference, we debuted our brand new original franchise, Days Gone. The PlayStation team, as well as the press conference production crew at the Shrine Auditorium, gave us the perfect venue to showcase some of the hard work we've been putting into the game's characters, story, open world environments, drifter bike, and dangerous encounters. The team is very excited about the reactions we've seen so far, and we're looking forward to a very busy E3. So it didn't really describe much about the game itself, but it's basically just sort of a drifter bike fucking zombie shooter. Basically, you're a guy on a bike shooting shit, really. But yeah, it's the trailer that really got me emotionally for a bunch of fucking different reasons. But then I saw some of the gameplay, and I'm like, Yeah, this looks really fucking interesting because the zombies in it basically looked like they were out of Left for fucking Dead. Like, they were moving fast, and there were a shit ton of them. And so you could kind of call this maybe a spiritual successor to, Left 4 Dead 2, because obviously we're not going to get a Left 4 Dead 3 because Valve doesn't know how to fucking count that high. So, yeah, I'm thinking Days Gone is going to be sort of the substitute for what could have been Left 4 Dead 3, so I'm really interested in that. That looks really badass, and it looks like there's going to be a really decent story behind it, which is what I'm interested in the game. I could care the fuck less about multiplayer. I just want it to have a good story. I want it to have a good campaign. I want it to have, emotion put into it, because it is in itself an art form, and that needs to be expressed well enough for me to have any interest in a game like this. So, yes, and if the trailer was anything to go by, that when we first saw it, yes, abso-fucking-lutely sign me the fuck up. So, there you go. The next on the list is Detroit Become Human, which looked really fucking interesting. It was basically some sort of game where it looks like it has sort of elements from LA Noire in it as well, where you make decisions and you say truth, lie sort of thing, but only it's implemented differently. You're not fucking trying to get truth out of someone else. You're not trying to, beat the shit out of someone else to get the truth out of them or anything like that. But what you're doing is you're just sort of manipulating time indirectly, I guess you could say. It's one of those games where every decision you make leads to a bunch of different things. It's a domino effect sort of game from what I can see, and I'm going to read the description right here before I ramble on further. Inspired by a short called Kara back in 2012, Detroit is a neo-noir thriller set in the near-future city of Detroit. Androids who look exactly like human beings have replaced humans in most tasks. They are workers, babysitters, gardeners, nurses, teachers, and clerks. The story of Detroit starts with an unexplained incident that begins to affect the androids. Some disappear without any explanation. Others have unexpected behaviors and strangely show signs of emotions. The rumors of deviant androids start spreading, but no one seems to know what's actually happening, and I do remember this from the trailer. There was the one towards the end, I trusted you, whatever the protagonist's name is, I can't remember. But yeah, it's sort of, you have to kind of really think your way around the game in order to progress and actually end up with the better outcome, or the outcome that you want in particular. So you're in what they showed you, there's this little girl, and one of the androids is holding the little girl, and you have to make decisions to try and save the little girl, from what I can see. So you either get the android to trust you, and he drops the girl, or you kill the android and you grab the girl or something like that. Or alternatively, you could kill the android and the android would bring the fucking little girl down with him. They would both follow their fucking death. So that looked really interesting. It looked like a really nice game. It didn't really look... Obviously, it's not very reminiscent of modern Detroit, if you don't mind me fucking saying that, but, still. The next game on the list was Horizon Zero Dawn, which I remember very little of, but it still did look very interesting. That's something I would definitely pick up. Bound, I did not remember anything from. Gravity Rush 2, I did not remember anything from. Gran Turismo Sport, I did not remember anything from. Granted, that's because I'm not a big racing games person. I do really like cars. I'm a bit of a gearhead, but for whatever reason, I just don't do racing games very much, because I usually suck ass at them. But the next one, The Last Guardian, that trailer looked fucking great. Another trailer that pulled at your heartstrings a little bit. And that just looked fucking fantastic. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I don't know too much about it. I know it's been around for a long time, and we're finally getting it brought to us now because it's been in sort of limbo for a while. I think I know that much. So, yeah, there you go. And now it just goes on to talk about, like, PlayStation gear, things like that, just stuff that you can buy on their shop. Then there's Batman Arkham VR, which I could care less about. Now we're going to get on to Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7, what the fuck are you particularly? You don't really look or feel like a Resident Evil game. You look like sort of a generic, I'm gonna walk around a house simulator, We've seen them a billion times before, especially in VR demos. So, yeah, it's just further proving my point, because this is effectively a VR demo at E3. So, yeah, Resident Evil 7 doesn't really feel like a normal Resident Evil game. And I'm not necessarily saying that automatically makes it, so that it sucks, because we haven't even seen very much of the game. But so far from what I've seen, it just looks like one of those generic, I'm going to walk around a fucked up house that has no lights in it. And hey, look, I'm going to open that door. Hey, look, there's a TV in there. Ha, cool. Yay. And those sorts of things are really boring to me. It's like, I don't want to walk around a house. I want to get scared shitless and shoot some fucking zombies here. That's what I play Resident Evil for. Not so that I can walk around a house and look at weird shit. And reminds me of fucking Alpha Megason's video. Damn, bitch, you got a big ass and shit like that. But yeah, fucking... man, I do want to see more of Resident Evil 7. But... only to hopefully just show me that it's more than I'm gonna walk around a house for 6 hours and that's the campaign. I don't want that to be the fucking game. I really don't. Alright, next game on the list is Farpoint, and that looked really interesting. It looks sort of like a space. It had almost a little bit of a Halo feeling to it, like just a little bit, just tiny little bit. But yeah, it's exclusively in PlayStation VR, so it's obviously sort of a tech demo-y looking thing. But here's the description. Farpoint is an unnerving space adventure set in a hostile alien world. After crash landing, you have to fight to survive as you explore and uncover the planet's secrets. Your only hope of escape is to keep moving and discover the fate of your team. So, yeah, I did notice that you walk out on this weird alien landscape into this really fucked up scene where it looks like there's been a bunch of ships or something that just crashed on the ground. You're like, holy fuck, what is that shit? Like, you already, immediately after, going into the game, you sort of realize that you're not alone here. You realize that there's something else there, but it's not on your side, obviously. So I found that to be pretty interesting. Going down the list here a little bit, I don't see too much... I don't see very much other that I'm really particularly interested in. So I think we're going to get on to the Xbox conference, and oh boy, this is going to be an interesting conversation. But there's definitely one thing I have to thank Sony for, and that's for making the conference about the games. Not about our pixels are the best pixels, or, we have new hardware that's going to, be really gimmicky and, outdo everyone else. It was about the games, and I really fucking appreciate that, because it was game after game after game, and it wasn't bragging after bragging after bragging. Like, they just kept the games coming, and I really appreciate that from Sony. I have to say that, because I can't express that well enough. Like, gaming is about the games, not about all the other shit, not about the graphics. It's not about any of that shit. It's about the fucking games themselves, the gameplay, the story, the art form itself. And Sony was really fucking cool with that. Like, they really expressed that, and I really appreciate it. Okay, Xbox conference. Let's talk about the obvious stuff first and get that out of the way. You've got the Xbox One S. We already knew that was coming because it was leaked, and Microsoft's literal response was just sort of a shrug emoji, sort of like ASCII art sort of thing, which was fucking hysterical, by the way, but... whatever. Yeah, so we got the Xbox One S. It's going to support 4K video, not gaming, but video. High dynamic range, 40% smaller, up to 2% or up to 2 terabytes storage, and it's going to have an IR blaster. Hooray, we can use fucking, remotes on it or something. Good. Then you've got the Project Scorpio, which is going to be the 4K, the true 4K gaming monster from Microsoft. And it is going to be an Xbox One model, so all of the games that will go on Project Scorpio will apparently work on the other two Xbox One models, like the Xbox One and the Xbox One S. Now, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I really don't. I really don't. I really don't. Seriously, I don't think that you're gonna be able to make a 4K fucking game on your big flagship console and then just downgrade it to all fucking hell on the other ones. That's gonna look shit, and that's gonna piss off your consumers. Like, it would piss me off knowing that other people just have a better version of the same fucking product that I can't afford because I'm not a rich white kid living in the fucking suburbs. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, but that'd piss me off. But we'll see how they implement it. We'll see if it's as bad as I think it's going to end up. But I do think it's a good idea, kind of, but I also think it's a shitty idea because you don't release new, more powerful hardware in the middle of a fucking generation. That's fucking stupid. I still don't like that idea. It's just fucking no, just don't. Just wait until next generation. Fuck off with this shit. But whatever. Moving on, they have the Xbox Design Lab where you can take a controller and you can make the controller however the fuck you want it to, really. You can color it however you want. You can make the buttons look how you want. It's really fucking cool. I already designed one myself, and yeah, it's really fucking sick. Even though I don't have an Xbox One, I just wanted to see this in action, so I designed one myself, and it's really nice. The editor is really nice. Really fluid. It's fucking great. So there you go. They gave us Xbox Play Anywhere, so you can just start a game on your fucking Xbox and then go play on your PC a week later. You continue from where you left off. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, I'm obviously gonna have an Xbox One at some point, and I have Windows 10, so okay, that's cool. But I rarely leave my house because I'm a fucking lazy cunt. So, I won't really be using that too much, so whatever. The big games that Microsoft themselves announced were Gears of War 4, Forza Horizon 3, and Halo Wars 2. Halo Wars 2, there's already a demo up. If you want to go check that out on Xbox One, you can do that. Forza Horizon 3, that looked okay, but again, I'm not massively into racing games, but it did look pretty sick. Gears of War looked pretty sick, but I'm not too massively into Gears of War, so there you go. So yeah, let's get into some more of the actual games that they announced as opposed to like gimmicky hardware. Alright, so from the Xbox conference, we got news from the likes of, well, their hardware. We've got Gears of War, we got Sea of Thieves, which looked really fucking interesting, Scalebound, ReCore, Final Fantasy 15, Dead Rising 4, which looked great, Forza Horizon 3, Halo Wars 2, Gwent, The Witcher card game, which, okay, fine, State of Decay 2, Minecraft, yeah, Limbo, The Division update, Tekken 7, and that's just about it as far as games are concerned, at least the interesting ones. Gears of War 4, I've already mentioned. I don't really have too much interest in that, but the next one, Sea of Thieves, looked really fucking fun. That's the sort of game that you would get really fucked up with friends and play that at like 3 a.m. and just have a fucking blast. Granted, I don't drink or do anything like that, but still, this would be a game that would probably let me do that. No, but seriously, it looks like a really fun fucking game. It looks like one of those games you can get together with a shit ton of friends and just fuck each other up and have all kinds of fun. Like, it's just a good old-fashioned pirate, I'm gonna shoot your ship to shit kind of game. It's really fucking cool. You're just a bunch of pirates on the open sea fucking each other up. I mean, how could you say no to that? And it's Rare. Like, Rare is fucking doing something. Rare is back, bitch. Rare is doing something. They're not just sitting there making Kinect games for fucking Microsoft. They're doing something now, which is fucking excellent. Scalebound looked pretty interesting. It looked actually kind of badass. If it is the game I remember it being, because I didn't pay too much attention. But I remember dragons. I remember big-ass dragons that were actually on your side for once, as opposed to you killing every fucking dragon you see, because I think dragons are really fucking badass. So, I don't want to kill them. I want to, let them be my friend and, go out to fucking lunch or something, But yeah, I saw ReCore, which I didn't really think much of. It looked okay. I didn't really pay too much attention to it. Then there's Final Fantasy 15, and the demo was sort of like, yeah, it's Final Fantasy 15. Okay. I really fucking want Final Fantasy 15, but it's just sort of a Final Fantasy 15 demo. It's really hard. I will say this, it's really hard to get me properly hyped up for a game. Like, I'm still not really hyped up for Pokemon Sun and Moon, mind you, because it's like, okay, it's a new Pokemon game. Like, that's fucking fantastic, but I'm not hyped up yet. You give me a bit. Just give me a bit. Let me have my morning fucking coffee. Give me a bit here. Show me a little bit more, and then I'll get hyped about it. Granted, at E3, Nintendo really did get me hyped up a little bit for it, especially Pokemon Go. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, Dead Rising 4, it's motherfucking Dead Rising. Like, what could you not like about Dead Rising? It's just like the crazy fucking ruin zombies day sort of game, and it's really fucking fun. And I did notice even the smallest little details, like in the trailer, when he was using fucking Tumblr, or Twitter, not Tumblr, sorry, I don't want to trigger anyone. But yeah, when he was using fucking Twitter, it was the actual Twitter app, and I don't know why that struck me so much, but it was the actual, like, true-to-life iOS Twitter app, and I found that kind of neat. Halo Wars 2, yeah, it's Halo Wars 2. Yay. I'm not the biggest Halo fan, so I don't really care. Gwent, the Witcher card game, it's a card game that was in The Witcher. People really fucking liked it. So they brought it to they brought us its own standalone game. Cool. I haven't played The Witcher, so like in any iteration. So there you go. State of Decay 2, another zombie game, which didn't interest me too much. Then they did sort of Minecraft, mobile PC crossplay, so you can play Minecraft on any platform on Realms with anyone. It's like, yeah, okay, I don't really play Minecraft that much anymore, so I don't really care. Limbo, I don't remember anything from. The Division update, I don't really care about. Tekken 7 looked interesting, but I'm more of a Pokken tournament kind of person, obviously. But Tekken 7 looked really interesting. It's nice to know that they're continuing the series, and that is pretty much everything we got out of Microsoft's E3 conference as far as games were concerned, or at least things that even vaguely interested me. So that was Microsoft's. Okay, Nintendo. This one was an interesting one because it was actually, it went on for like 2 days. So, yeah, it was just Nintendo Treehouse. Basically, that consisted of them playing Legend of Zelda for most of it. Speaking of fucking which, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wind has me absolutely fucking sold. I want that game like a motherfucker. But to save time, I'm not going to really talk about it too much because everyone else on this website already probably has, and they'll do it a lot better than I would, so there you go. But I really did like how it looked. I really liked the more cel-shaded graphics of it, and it just looked really nice. It looked like a really good iteration of the Zelda series to dig my fucking hands into, so I'm obviously gonna fucking play it. The amiibo functionality was pretty cool, and there's one thing that's fucking bothering me, though. Well, not really bothering me, but it's just sort of like, what? Why are the fucking bokoblins adorable as fuck? Like, they're, like, if you remember them from Twilight Princess, they were ugly as fuck and a little bit terrifying. Like, why now are they adorable, cel-shaded little things? Like, you want to hug them, you don't want to fucking beat them up and take their fucking loot. I don't think enemies are supposed to be fucking adorable now, are they? But yeah, that's just something. I know it's nitpicky. It's not a problem either. I don't really care because I'm still gonna kick the shit out of them. But why are they so fucking precious? They shouldn't be. But yeah, Nintendo played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Wild. I can't remember. I think it was Wild. And they for like 2 days, and they were really cock teasing with it, but I couldn't look away because I'm like, ooh, that's good. Ooh. Yeah, no, I just couldn't fucking look away because it just looked so fucking good. But yeah, let's move on to the other stuff. You've got the Pokemon stuff. So Pokemon Sun and Moon. We got 3 new Pokemon to look after now. What were their names? I think it was Pikapeck was one of them. Fucking Trump Weasel was the other one. That's what I'm gonna call it for now. What was the other one? It was like a little thing with mandibles. It was adorable. It was a bug type, obviously. I can't remember what it was, but we got 3 new Pokemon. I'm gonna have to remember their names one of these days because I'm obviously gonna be doing a video on Pokemon soon because it's a big fucking, period in time for the franchise. So, yeah. So, Pokemon news. We got Pokemon Go. Obviously, the Pokemon Sun and Moon stuff looked really interesting. Actually, I'm going to talk about Sun and Moon first, because there's this one thing that actually that's a little bit up my ass. Now, I've already mentioned that I am not at all into competitive battling. For me, it just rips the fun and joy out of the game for me. I'm not at all into hardcore competitive battling like IV breeding. I was once into that, and then I realized how fucking, like, degrading to me it was. It was like, I don't like this. It's like, it's not fun. It's not fun. It just tears the fun out of it. Gaming is about having fun, not doing homework. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you can have that, competitive battlers. I'm not gonna have any part of this. Like, competitive battling, entirely contrasts my play style. So whatever. But this doesn't bother me as much as it will bother the competitive community. Believe me. in the battle interface, what happens is when you attack a certain Pokemon for the first time, you then gather information on that Pokemon in the battle interface. And what happens is the next time you attack that Pokemon, you see under which of your moves, if it's not very effective, effective, super effective, etc. So I'm hoping they're not going to implement that into online battling, because that would be kind of bullshit if they did. Like, I understand that. Like, it doesn't bother me because I only really play first player. I mean, yes, I do play with other people. I do battle other people, obviously. I'm not a complete schmuck, but yeah, I do battle other people and things like that. But I kind of want to turn that functionality off, even in single player, because it sort of feels like cheating. I should have to use my brain just a little bit to know what moves are effective, even though I already know these things because I'm a Pokemon veteran. It's still just kind of like, man, I know you're probably doing this for the newbies, but most of us are not newbies. Like, really, we're most of us aren't. I know Pokemon Sun and Moon are really going to appeal to a lot of people that are new to the franchise, the people that are thinking about getting into it. But I mean, you could just, say, hey, you could just, teach them the good old-fashioned way, the type advantages and disadvantages, the hard way, like we had to learn it back as kids in the fucking 90s and early 2000s. We had to learn it the hard way. Why don't these people have to learn it the hard way? But I kind of understand behind it. It's useful and stuff like that. I'm probably going to turn it off if there is an option to turn it off. And I'm just hoping to fucking Arceus, how fitting, that they turn that functionality off in battling. I'm thinking they're going to do that, like in online battling, and competitive battling and things like that. I hope they turn that off for the competitive crowd's sake, because I do understand how that would piss people off. Like, I really do. And I was looking at the fucking cancerous Twitch chat, and everyone was going ham about it too. And Twitch chat just literally makes me want to fucking kill myself every time I look at it for any longer than a fucking picosecond. So yeah, whatever. But yeah, I do understand how that could piss people off. But let's get on to the other things. Pokemon Go. I finally cracked and allowed myself to see enough of Pokemon Go to actually form an opinion on it. Now, what do I think? I like it. I'm pretty sold on it. And to be honest with you, since I'm a Pokemon fanboy, I'm not a blind fanboy, mind you. I'm not going to blindly defend the franchise when it does something fucking stupid, like, what they just did with the battle interface. But I am a bit of a fanboy. I have to say that. So I am willing to give Nintendo my money in microtransactions. I'm just saying that. Even though I do not like microtransactions, I'm really hoping though that they don't just load them down your throat. I hope you can just get the supplies you need by playing the game itself. And that'd be great. Obviously, it's going to be releasing next month. They already announced that it's going to be releasing in July, along with a peripheral that you can use to catch Pokemon and stuff like that. When you're not looking at your phone, you can press the button, and if it glows green, you caught it, and if it glows red, you did not catch it. So I thought that was neat. I'm obviously going to get one of those, and it vibrates when there's a Pokemon nearby, so you can be like, oh shit, there's a Pokemon over there, and you press the button, and, you see what happens. But yeah, yes, I am definitely interested in Pokemon Go. I'm just really hoping they don't completely shove the microtransactions down your throat, because that would really piss me off. Because obviously I'm not one for mobile gaming and microtransactions, but
you get to be a trainer in the real world with your Pokemon, and you get to catch other Pokemon and battle other people, and you get to work together, and I want it. I want it. I fucking want.
Seriously, I want Pokemon Go big time. Like, it looks fucking sick, and it'll give me a reason to get the fuck out of my house. So that'll be great. And there is the added benefit of probably meeting other trainers, because there's obviously a shit ton of fucking trainers, with Pokemon being the third largest game franchise in the fucking world. So yeah, there's gonna be some fucking trainers out there. I guarantee it. So. And since everybody's got a fucking phone nowadays, like I've got mine right the fuck here, a lot of people are gonna have it because they're gonna think, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna give me some of that. So yeah, Pokemon Go looked absolutely sick. The augmented reality aspect of it looks like it could use a little bit more work, but they'll probably put that out through updates because it could be stabilized a little bit. It could look a little bit better, but I'm not really complaining because it's a mobile game, for fuck's sake. So yeah, I am definitely sold on Pokemon Go. I'm going to get it when it comes out. Unfortunately, I'm not a field tester. I really wish I was, but I'm not. I did sign up like compulsively for it, and I'm like, yes, I want this. I'm going to get it, but I did not get field tester status, which is unfortunate. But hey, I'll get to see the finished product, so that's kind of nice. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Nintendo, because that's basically all they showed. Yeah, they showed some new stuff for 3DS, but none of that really interested me. They did show some new stuff for Wii U, but again, that didn't really interest me too much. Didn't really leave a lasting impression. It's basically just Pokemon and Legend of Zelda that was the main event at Nintendo's E3 Treehouse Live. So yeah, and it went on for 2 days. Basically them just cock-teasing Pokemon and Legend of Zelda, and then just some, 3DS and Wii U stuff on the side, apart from, Wii U stuff apart from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, or Wind Wild, but whatever. But yeah, that's the Nintendo stuff. So it wasn't really a conference. I know I've referred to the Nintendo thing as a conference. It wasn't a conference. It was a treehouse, or whatever they want to call it. But it was their presence at E3, and it needed to be spoken of because it's important. Okay? All right. So there we go. Those are my thoughts on E3 in a nutshell. I did not include the likes of Bethesda, Ubisoft, and EA, because again, other people are going to cover that, and they're going to do a lot better than I did, because I don't really care too much about those. I care about the big events, the PlayStation, this Microsoft, the Nintendo. So there you go. Those are the ones that I cared about. One thing I will say about Ubisoft is that I really hope Watch Dogs 2 doesn't end up being a really mediocre piece of shit like the last one, because that game had so much potential, but they fucked it up bad. Oh man, they could have done such great shit with Watch Dogs, but they just fucked it up and made it into a really mediocre GTA clone, and it was like, oh man. Spider Tank was really badass, but that was pretty much the only thing that I cared for in that game after the campaign, which was mediocre to begin with. It was like, I don't care. It's like, yeah, you get to do some CTO shit, you get to control the grid, whatever. It's like, I don't fucking care. But yeah, it was one of those games that wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. It was just sort of okay. It's not something you'd go back to. So hopefully Watch Dogs 2 changes that, and they give you a reason to actually continue playing the game, because I'm sort of I like to complete the story, because I like to see the whole story. Like, I always complete the story of games that I buy. But yeah, it's just sort of like, yeah, I really hope Watch Dogs 2 doesn't end up being really mediocre and like the last one, because it left no lasting impression on me. I mean, yeah, the one thing that I remember from Watch Dogs is the Deadmau5 ripoff. Like, if you remember that, there was some kid in the game that had like a Deadmau5 ripoff like mask on. Is like, oh hey, look, it's a Deadmau5 ripoff. I wonder if Joel has any say in this. Probably not. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, those are my thoughts on E3 this year. It was a pretty good year. Certainly not topping last year because we got Shenmue 3, but it was a good year. It was definitely a good year. And by statistics, Nintendo won it because The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is the most talked about game of E3 2016. So hats off to you, Nintendo. You effectively won E3, but in everyone's mind, Sony pretty much actually won E3, and that's pretty much how I'm looking at it too. Like, yeah, statistically Nintendo won E3, but Sony had the game after game after game after game after game thing, so I'm going for Sony this time around. They won E3 again for like the 10 billionth year in a row now. So, yeah. Well, I hope you like this TARcast. As long as fuck, longer than they usually are. So, well, if you did like it, leave a like down below. Remember to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Actually, I won't see you in the next one because I can't see you through a fucking computer monitor. So, keep that in mind.